cyber attack, and you know the people who are controlling, who are launching this cyber attack are from China, which is Chinese Communist Party, and they stole tens of millions of personal data from American people, and they control all your ID, all your address, all your health status, all your spouse family information. So they have all the data, and they can easily, and also including social insurance number. So they can easily create these fraud, fake vote, right, and mail it from China to US using your identity, using, for example, people who cannot write, people who are unconscious, people who are not political interest, because, the AI and, the technology empowers the evil Chinese Communist Party to get all this information from Americans and then vote on behalf of you. And those are illegal casted votes. So what I'm saying is, like, mail-in ballots is total disaster. There are so many ways to create this fraud, right? And I think the next step is to first to send these poll watchers from both parties to those sites to monitor and to recount, right? And if you want to apply this monitoring process, you have to get approval from the local legislation. And if it's a Democrat party, because these frauds happen mainly in a Democrat-controlled county, so usually you will get a no as answer from the Democrat-controlled legislation, right? So you have to go to next one, the state legislature, right? And then hopefully they can get approval from there. I think they already announced a victory for Republican in Pennsylvania, that they will get a recount, or they will stop as of the midnight of November 3rd to recount all the votes casted then. Because if you don't stop the casting time, then people will continue to vote, and it will create more chaos. That's why you need to have a deadline, right? Like right now in some of the states, for example, North Carolina, according to the voting right now, Biden's already ahead of Trump, and the North Carolina is saying that the vote count wouldn't stop until November 12th, which is like a week from now. So it's very ridiculous. So you as a Republican Party, you can't let that happen. You have to go to the court to stop the votes, right? You have to stop because when the time lags, there will be more opportunity for the Democrat Party and Chinese Communist Party to create all these fraud activities. And on the other side, you have to think about your backup plan, because if we all know that the votes has been tainted, the next backup plan is to have the legislature to select the electorals. The U.S. constitutions. So first, U.S. Constitution empowers all the people to vote for the president and all the senators, and very this kind of absurd election happen, or believable fraudulent votes happened in United States. Like, for example, in 2000, I think, Gore versus Bush in Florida, they had this recount request from Republicans and Democrats, and then I think they're doing something shadow and Republican threat to use this electoral from legislature process, and eventually the state legislature was in favor of Bush, the Republican Party. So this is something that Trump should consider. I think he is fully prepared, because based on the state legislature, Republican Party will have control. Will have control in it. I think Mr. Bannon said in his Warren Pandemic show yesterday, there are 4 aces that Trump is holding. I think the first one, the most important, is American people. The second one is Supreme Court, which we all know that 6 of the 9 judges are Republican sided. And the third is the state legislature, which I just mentioned, because if the votes doesn't count, then the state legislature have the moral duty, okay? The moral duty on state legislature to select the electors. And that's the third ace. The fourth ace, I think it is the House, because when we come to the House, it's not that the absolute number, who had the higher absolute number, who will win. It's based on state by state. So I think Republicans controls about 27 states, and the other 24 is Democrats. So every state, I think, have two electoral votes, seats. So if it comes to the House, Republicans still has the control in it. So which is good news. I think Trump is well prepared, and Trump is not going to acknowledge failure based on these, tainted numbers. And as long as he's hanging there saying this election is not over, he will have a competitive advantage based on these 4 aces he's holding. Yeah, you guys can jump in whenever you want, right? It's boring when I keep going.
Yes,
but I just want to understand. Let's ask you guys: do you understand what I'm saying? Like, what are these 4 aces are?
Yes.
And do you have different opinion? Yeah.
Thank you, Harley. And sorry. So I want to just comment about what Harley mentioned, right? Trump have 4 aces. One critical one is, first one probably the people's recount, right? That's much easier one. And Supreme Court. The third one he mentioned is a state legislature and legislation. So this is related to the swing state, and those one very important to this election. That we're talking about the swing state, Wisconsin and Michigan and Georgia. Those one and Pennsylvania. So those one, here's good news for those Trump people, because those are controlled by the Republican legislature in locally. And so they can basically appoint the legislature, the electors, that they will vote. So that's one key element. So that's my one item here. So what are you guys thinking about? And some, our whistleblower talking about the virus was a vote, and why? And we at the beginning we talk a lot about virus, the CCP virus and China virus, and as obvious for us, we know from our inside intelligence, we know this is CCP virus. Why Trump don't use virus to take down CCP, and they use the vote? What do you think about it? I want to hear, Hailey, what do you think? Because we have
the Can you repeat your question? Sorry, I missed it. Can you repeat it?
The question is, there's on a bigger scale, right? You can take it on CCP, for example. You can use a virus and from made in China, made in lab. Oh, this one, the vote, and I will give you the clue about it. See, this is much easier for the. I will give you some facts, right? So, in terms of population-wise, how it affects people. So the American have a registered voter. A lot. Last election is about 60% vote, roughly about 140 million. This time it projects about 66%. The registered voter will vote, also about 144 million. So that's what I'm saying. The effect 144 people get involved. Now, in the meantime, the virus also we can say about the same other number. I will give you some example. So right now, the infected people is about 10 million American infected. Well, so each family roughly about 3 people per house. So that's about 30 million. But every people connect each other, there's in-law, everything. So with times 3, times 5, we give it 150 million. So in terms of the people affected directly or indirectly, it's about 150 million American. One give that effect. So now I'm thinking about why Trump chose to assume, why Trump chose use this election instead of virus.
I think basically it's not that like Trump can decide the path of U.S. right. It has to come down to the U.S. people. If U.S. people doesn't unite together and have a bipartisan opinion, then Trump cannot do much more because all the national security apparatus, a lot of them they're infiltrated, and a lot of them they compromise themselves by CCP. So really, Trump needs the people's support in like he needs to reveal all the truth to the U.S. people, because a lot of them they don't believe that this virus is a bioweapon, and a lot of them they don't believe that China is the biggest threat. A lot of them they're still thinking Russia is the biggest threat, even though that the Cold War has been past about 20 years. So it's a good event for the whistleblowers, right? Because we have to let U.S. know this is just a test to Trump and to the U.S., to the Americans. Because if they can pass this test, then they have the power unite together to confront Chinese Communist Party. If they cannot pass this test, if they will launch a civil war, or if they will go into a chaos status, then that will be a doomsday for all the human beings. But we still believe in that United States and the American people has the power. When you give them truth, when they see that these main media stream are trying so hard to censor Republicans, to censor Trump, they will know. And from what we can see, a lot of these patriots, they've already launched a lot of protests across the world. There's no organizers, they just feel a disgrace for their own country to have this whole distrustworthy voting process. This happened. If this voting process is tainted and people can, Chinese Communist Party can use this to attack U.S., then the whole nation will be destroyed. This is nation created based on the freedom to vote, freedom of democracy, right? And if it was destroyed by Chinese Communist Parties, the virus or the mailing ballot frauds, then no one can stop Chinese Communist Party. So we need to hold on. We need to believe in the the good side, and we'll like Ms. Mousegor said, that everything is the best. Everything is planned. So we just need to keep on spreading the truth, especially when all the big tech social media censoring our voice. Yeah.
I want to add something to that. So that's a good question. Why Trump didn't use the the virus as a bioweapon. That's actually also one of my questions I ask to myself. The other one is why he stopped HCQ, because he had been taking that for the preventative purpose, as Mr. Giuliani also take it, so he didn't get infected. So that was my two questions. So back to the answer, I think I want to add one thing. We know with Bush administration, he fought against Iraq, right, saying that they have bioweapons. But after the war, it turned out that they didn't find anything. So I think Trump has to be more cautious for that. Otherwise, because it's already marked a failure to that administration for Bush already, and also it's too near to the election. So I think he is just taking a I don't want to say easier, but peaceful process to, while dealing with CCP. So here we can see how much influence the penetration that CCP, conducted here in United States. The CCP virus actually is not only the COVID-19 virus, it's actually, as Mr. Luda revealed, that in both, Democrats and Republican, they both infected with the, unseen CCP virus. That is the collusion with CCP to, really, to make this system, the whole system, not working. Full of, it's a huge chaos now. That's what we call a even, severe, even scaring CCP virus in there, deep into the political system. I also want to talk a little bit about the fraud, as Victor and Hazel mentioned. Yeah, we see a lot of this. We saw, huge amount of votes were thrown in the garbage, and also in Wisconsin, that there were 15,000 of votes all of a sudden came out. They were voted all in the early morning, and vast majority were for Biden. Where did that come from? Right? Not mentioning 1 year ago, CCP, they made like 13,000 or 20,000 pieces of fake ID just to get ready to manipulate this election. And we know that Donald Trump is getting ready to sue Biden. They leading by Mr. Giuliani as his legal team. But we also know that Trump's his day of being the president is until January the 20th, right? So there are more than 70 days. Even Mr. Giuliani said within 2 months, like 16 days, they can decide a crime to Biden with the evidence they collected. But we know the judicial process can be time consuming, right? Very, very much take a lot of time. So if the Supreme Court cannot make a decision by then, meanwhile, both parties, they don't agree with each other, they don't think it's fair, then the House will vote in that sense, right? And then the acting president, we would call it, would be the representative of the House. But in that case, it may not necessarily be Nancy Pelosi, because her position as well is also being elected, right? So I really don't want to see she just all of a sudden became the acting president. That's really something we don't want to see. So I think because Mr. Giuliani has a lot of experiences in dealing with this kind of legal and constitutional stuffs, especially by using the FISA Act, maybe they are already using it. they have really very good evidence there, so they can make sure that they can make the process shorter before the expiry date of Donald Trump being the president. Then that's something we want to see. But as Hallie mentioned, Mr. Guo said, the more the CCP, they are the bad things they are doing, the better for us to take down the CCP, because the both parties, Democrats and the Republican, they really more and more realize how evil the CCP is. If they don't themselves experience this, they may not feel the pain. Now they see the whole country is getting, it's chaotic now. So it's a time. It's a good timing for them to really stand up and realize how evil CCP is, and that is good thing for us to see, to take down the CCP. Okay.
Well, Joseph, are you there? Okay, because we are experiencing the big, massive fraudulent of this election. So I like what our co-host said with the voters from the illegal resident and voters who has died for a long time ago, and that's really ridiculous. CCP, because our Chinese we know well how the CCP they will use is too much already. It's not like a freedom society, and they like Mr. Hu just said, is now we are in the war, and which are already by using the law war fire right now. So Joseph, do you want to talk?
Yeah, well,
okay.
It's okay. Actually, Americans did not grow up in a communist China. They grew up in a place like always honey, always sweet, because they have the fresh air, they have the freedom of speech for many years. But in the past decades or so, things are changing. Because some people, I know particularly the younger generation, like they get indifferent. Just in case, they have the video game to play, they have something for fun, and, even drugs or alcohol is also at their own disposal. So it's a little bit changing. But they have never even imagined such things are happening in America, like it happened a long time ago in China. It's even, we could say, we tell them, okay, Cultural Revolution, that 10 years, or even the 17 years, we say after CCP China was established since 1949, until manually we separate that different stages of China. It's about 17 years before the Cultural Revolution, and then there's another 10 years of a Cultural Revolution, and then another 17 years or so after Cultural Revolution, since Deng Xiaoping went on to take the power and China opened up its country, right? Well, things are already talked about earlier. Feel free. They say, oh, I'm okay. I'm very, I have the freedom to travel. My lifestyle or my salary is raised higher, and all that is covered up, by this, the actual state in China. But lots of Americans never thought about this. They thought, well, okay, deplorables are only in China. But they never think about they are themselves are becoming gradually deplorables in America because, well, dramatically and drastically, the society is divided into two extremes. Those super rich, those super poor, and the middle class is shrinking. And because America, the establishment was more or less focused on more middle class people. But these middle class people are so busy worrying or taking care of all about their own children, their own life, and their kids' education and everything. So they forgot about what is real democratic is. And the Democratic Party so far has been polluted by the CCP China. So that's why right now America is trying to put White House like a prison now. You know, prison, what I mean by really prison. So they were isolating, the other party was isolating the White House. President Trump was was really put into like a handcuff, something like he cannot do anything after this 3 years. Although he's a brave guy, he's a man of God, and he's been doing a lot in actually changing what's been going on in America. But this back to what Mr. Sun just said about this, because you know, Americans are somewhat unawakened. I mean, lots of middle class Americans are sleeping, similar like Sleepy Joe. But I wouldn't say as bad as Joe or Hunter Biden. But the fact is, they are indifferent. So I think Trump want to use this election to wake up America, if I'm thinking it correctly, because we already warned as whistleblowers, we warned Trump a long time ago, this is going to happen. In a sense, he's not 100% believe it. He still trust in God and trust in America. So that's why he want to utilize this election to wake up America. That's my point. But the one more thing I want to alliterate is, you know, those netizens, we call them netizens. I mean, the citizens on the internet are, you know, based on the various information we already get so far, there are a lot of things showing up how Democrats stole the U.S. election this time, using a lot of techniques, a lot of things CCP has been doing for years. And it's so, you know, to us, it's very reasonable. It's, you know, that's what we know about CCP, but Americans are not. Like they use the pre-printed, mass-produced fake ballots, right? They use like, you know, when they intentionally toss Trump votes into dust, into garbage, right? And then, like we all know, like at that very critical moment when Trump is almost ready to say, okay, I'm winning, but then all of a sudden Google stopped everything. Stopped, well, like for like 70 or 2 hours or so, there's nothing changed with Trump or with the election. So the number was stopped for like a long time, and then all of a sudden, Democratic is rising up. So also, we have a lot of other evidence. If I don't know if you had time for Sarah to play a short video about how they do on GTV. You know, I mean, just double check. There's one there. There's a little video. Yes. This one. Right. Okay, take a look.
are precinct chairs that cannot be known because they could get kicked out, but they want to help the Biden.
For the entire team that I'm looking at $55,000.
So $55,000 for 5,000 votes confident that get eager Biden.
That's right.
Joseph, how long the video?
Cash.
Oh, it's just a few minutes.
Okay.
So I have a state rep. I have a senator right now. I'm talking in my pocket. State rep, senator, judges. I respect you. You're gonna own me. Okay? Just remember what I'm doing.
She's okay with that.
Yeah, who is it?
Got Pete in the pocket.
Like model right now. So he was paying me $5,000 a month, and now he's paying me $8,000 a month.
So you don't have to pay you $700 cash just to take care of that.
Everybody else would have paid me $3,000. She didn't have it. She just got screwed.
Right. Instead of $3,000, you got $700.
So what does she owe me? Favors. She do. Produce.
So it's not fair to have a chief judge?
I've got 3 Democrats, 3 Republicans. You're talking between $5 to $8 per vote. I'm just letting you know, so you have an idea. And I'm going to bring $3,500 to the plate, county-wide. So I know what I'm bringing to the plate county-wide. So that's like $28,000.
So those 3 judges that I'm talking about, and that's Renee Yanta, Nicole Garza, right? They're paying me $3,500, to make sure that their name is on the ballot.
So roughly for the city council race for 21, we're looking.
He's going to get 5 and I'm going to get 7, so 56. Hold on. Plus, that's 14. And that's 10. That's like 71,000.
71,000. And how do you want it?
Cash.
Okay. I think that's it. So, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. Okay, good. So,
Joseph, and it's good video.
Comments.
I want to adding what you're saying. And this definitely wake up American. And also, the next step is the warm up American, and then be ready, and then be fight. So this is the part, the ballot, this election process is is a good tool, a good campaign to wake up American and warm up American. Compared to the virus is much harder for the public to understand. Trump by himself is not the expert on virus. So it is very hard to communicate to the public. On this election, on his idea, and he's good at marketing and he's good at community skill. This is his expertise to communicate with American people directly. But the subject is about how to change people's life, not the virus. Very hard for him. He tried. So this is much easier. And this also, remember, whether they not American like or not, and this is virus and vote expose the CCP contaminated effort, the infiltrated effort. So we call contaminated ballot right now, contaminated virus, contaminated vote right now. So see, this is much easier for American people to see, to catch them. See, it's very hard to create a virus, and it's very hard to catch where they came from. But the ballot...
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Sun, when did you come to America?
It's about, 26 years ago now, 1994.
Well, 1994, okay. Well, let me tell you, I came here after 2000. So about almost 10 years after you. But I want to say the exact thing happened after you left China is a lot different. Different is because when I was there, I find people are buying being, paying to get the title of being a government official. Even a small town or a small, in China, they have something called section chief, which is way lower than a county and a small county thing. It's like the title, the level is like a village head or something. But I know someone in person because we had drank together. He told me he spent 1 million RMB at that time to get that title. He actually paid the money so that he could be appointed as the title, being like a section chief in charge of certain things. I don't want to illiterate, but he told me he's going to get that money back in half a year or less. 1 million. I'm talking about 1 million. But look at what they did here. People are paying very small amount of money in a Chinese CCP's point of view, like say a few hundred, a few thousand. That's it, right? Even just tens of thousands, that's more than enough to pay these average voters just that money. Okay, are we off GTV now?
No, it's okay. Everything is going well.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to comment about Mr. Sands, what he talked about why Donald Trump didn't use virus to take down the CCP or tell the American truth. He said, Mr. Sands said that thing is true. It's really hard that all the people of American to understand, to know the truth by the virus, because in the histories a lot of virus happened that the people didn't know why. They just think it's a natural, and they think it's not by man-made. For example, in 1684, that has a time is there had virus from Hong Kong. It's also the millions people died, but the people think, but fortunately it's they had the vaccine 4 months later. Not like this time. This time is really worse. And back to 1901, it's the same. It's a Spanish the flu. It's also the virus. A lot of people died, and that it's like the worldwide virus. It's also the people until now they cannot find the truth, reason how the virus happened, right? So from this CCP virus, even we are keep telling the truth to the people, to the public, but they still doubt it. What is it from a man-made? Why they did that? We need to do a lot of jobs, and then I don't know how much the people can understand, as we can understand that deep, that much, right? So it's but from this election, and for American, because the American election is the people from all over the world, they are focused on this election. This is like a worldwide. If we can revealed the truth by the democracy fraudulent, that's a good way. It's totally clear. And if you can do for the election, this is a very, very big thing for the country. And then the virus, the truth, I think it's easy to let people know. So that's what I think about Ms. Zhang mentioned.
Thank you, Hazel. In terms of evidence, if you collect the evidence, about the virus compares the contaminated vote is much easier to collect. Already show up on internet already. They have those fake ID, and then they even change all the processing, all those stuff. But the virus part, they not allowed American to go into China to pick up evidence, right? So there's no video, and we have to go to public, the scientific world to go to paper. But the scientific world already infiltrated by those CCP already. That's a big hurdle, and also the big farmer, they are with them. So that's a big hurdle for Trump to overcome. Now, in terms
Mr. Sun, sorry. So I just want to make a quick comment on that. I think that still the civilized people, they cannot understand, they cannot believe that, because that's really beyond anybody's imagination or bottom line. Because I think that just like a few years ago when we just the first time heard Mr. Guo Maisguo talk about that, nobody believed that, right? Nobody can believe that that's true. So I think that that's why it's so hard for the Western people, the civilized society to understand or believe that. So if they don't believe that in the first place, they are not gonna go deeper, to find out the truth. So I think that's why there's a big hurdle obstacle there, unless they have a huge amount of evidence. But now the major media, they cover up everything. So people have no way to understand, and people don't believe that those major media are all up for the CCP, right? So I think that's the reason.
Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I want to add something. Yeah, I think I agree. Because Mr. Guo always say, you guys are too high. The CCP are too low, right? Because CCP, they do evil things to the extreme level, so that nobody can believe it. Even we are Chinese, we were brainwashed like that before when we were in China. But still, that's, it's too much beyond our imagination, right? Even as Chinese. So we can see like they how they manipulate the election. Like they all did this. They have been doing this in history, right? How they use it as a tool to attack against their partner or what they thought is an enemy, right? And we all see that all the Trump supporters and all the voters and all the votes goes to Trump, but still after mail in the ballots, and Biden can eventually win. So they all do this like really it's an easy way. In really easy way to CCP, just a piece of cake. But the Americans on the other side, or people grown up in a free world, it's really hard to believe, right?
So that's why they create such a chaos in America.
Yeah,
and most Americans are scared to death about it already.
Yeah, that like even we know that Trump will win, but Biden they will still sue for Trump because they will say, okay, Donald Trump, you stole the election, right? So they both say the other party stole the election, but we know that who on earth stole the election is CCP, right? That's because it's in their plan. They do it step by step to 3F, right? We always talk about this 3F plan: fall, fail, and fail. United States, right? So that's exactly under their control. That's one step of their plan. Because CCP keeps, brainwashing Chinese people that they're saying, well, United States, their policy, their system, it's not superior. Because, see, the Antifa, well, they don't call it Antifa. See, it's, the protesters, the riots, they are there. But we can, under General Xi's, leadership, what's so-called great leadership, everything is just, balanced. It's very, harmonized now. That's what they always use the tool to how they, brainwash the people. And they can use the Antifa saying, see, people are not satisfied with Trump administration, right? It's not like you guys say, hey, this great general secretary Xi, right? This is, the chaos, the chaotic. You can see U.S. every day, not mentioning of how many people died through the, CCP virus. So all this, it's really what CCP, they want people to see. They want people to talk about, they want people to focus on this. Well, forgetting we have, the right to speak out, to make our voice sound, right? We need to have real democracy and the rights to vote, to, use social medias without being banned. All this kind of, it's really to the root of their, the founding father of this country. That's really the base of this country. So if United States is attacked, like is crushed under this election, we can't imagine the world, where the world will be going. Yeah, back to Joseph.
Okay, I want to invite all of you guys, our dear audience, just log into or tune into our gnews.org and gtv.org. There are truths is revealing there. And just I want to illustrate one more thing based on what we just talked about. Like, there's an article given by Connecticut Himalaya. It's called Mr. Mask, is piercing the darkness, spreading the truth. So the actual article is very short, but I just want to read a few pieces of it. In addition to the fact that media bribed by CCP will cover up the truth, right? All the medias are covering up. They are covering up because they suspend my Twitter, suspend our Twitter, suspend Donald Trump's Twitter. Also say, okay, I'm okay. I'm nobody. But then Donald Trump's Twitter is suspended. They kill it for several times. So, Twitter is already become a WeChat, right? And, the announcement of this election, like both parties are trying to, right? When Trump announces that I win already, based on the status already, right? But now you look at the market and financial market. It's also standing up to Trump now. And American policy actually determines the direction of American development. So United States is still leading the way to the world's development. Okay, so Trump's victory of election is beyond doubt. CCP media called Global Times, that the United States may continue to suffer a period of chaos. Antifa has been already eagerly gathered around Washington. CCP knew that the election results were unfavorable to them, and then they started a campaign similar to Cultural Revolution in the United States. So CCP wants to try to reverse and postpone the result of a general election by hooligans and all coups, all those ways. So for some intelligence inside the CCP, if we get this from inside, it can be seen that the Democratic Party and those people kidnapped by the Democratic Party, they know that they will be sent to prison after President Trump being reelected. So these forces will surely use all methods to evade from sanctions. So CCP related news that RMB dividing, at a crucial moment of the general election, meaning RMB is growing, so that anti-group IPO emergency brake, context between political forces hide behind these absurdities. So, you know, what's going to happen? We don't need to wait, but we can just rest assured to wait that CCP is going to kill or suicide themselves. And Americans is waking up. I have to emphasize that. More and more Americans, because I look at the news this morning, and lots of people are waking up. You see the vote, like even they have a lot of fake votes, and a lot of people are reporting it. People are reporting. We just show you the video. Some people was bribing to become reelected at Senate, House, or whatever, and being someone in rule, in control, so that they want to dominate the the freedom or the free country. But these are criminals. You know, these people are actually sound criminals in America, in this free world. They know they are going to be ended, totally wiped out if Trump is reelected. So I got Facebook friends are always like so-called friends, and they always emphasize, oh, you know what? Well, Trump, we need to vote Trump out. I don't know who they are, but some of them are just, innocent lawyers. I know them. But a lot of people were still fooled and covered up by the truth. But to be honest, more and more people are start realizing it. Even I talked with my neighbors this morning. We talked a little bit about this election to say, wow, that was a cover-up. That is a cover-up. Right, back to Mr. Song, please.
Okay, anybody wants to comment? This is talking about the cover-up, and the cover-up easily identified by this electoral election process, and you will see some evident video on the Twitter, on the Google, YouTube already, although they may be censored later on, right? But it's there. So to fake a ballot is much easier to identify than a fake a virus. A virus needs a lot of knowledge, and so now I want to hear another part. So see, when we compare virus with vote, there is a slogan. You have to say, Trump said, "Make America Great Again." So the audience feel that's about me, make America great again. Now, when you talk about the China virus, what I mean, you try to blaming somebody else, right? So it's not about, it's kind of, oh, yes, where some people died, we cannot go to work, but you're still blaming somebody. So just compare this two, which is much easier to communicate, to get your receiver, the audience, to take in. That's make America great again. So that's part of communication. You're talking with the people directly, and that we see live many times. Trump is how to tell a story, communication skill, and live audience, direct connection with his people. Now, in the virus, the other way, you try to lock down, everybody lock out in the home, different place. Although he always saying, virus, we need COVID, we need people come out. But other party just play the other side. Oh, those scary, don't be contagious, all those stuff. So, see, because this part come with us almost the same time. On the March, we have the virus. And the same time, they kick off the primary on the called Super Tuesday and March 10, whatever that time. So this is almost simultaneous happened, the two events. One is virus, one is election. So both play favor on us, right? So you can imagine the third party, and that's the CCP, contaminate both process, right? They planned it. They, in a sense, they coordinate each other. The virus is supposed to make a chaos. Not American, the whole world. Basically, cripple the economic, the stock, everything, everybody locked down. Look at Canada. We still locked down. We don't have any solution. Anytime the rate going up, they say, oh, lockdown, don't go to restaurant. So basically, we are affected worldwide. Maybe 30% of business, small business, restaurant, everything set in is locked down. If you don't know the solution, right? And most Western countries do not know there is solution, right? And so they play that. So far, they haven't solved that problem yet, right? They now go to vaccine, anything but so much money. It's roughly 23 companies in the worldwide, all billion-dollar company invest in vaccine, try to find the magic bullet. That's what they're trying to do. They don't want to tell people there is easy way and to solve the problem, right? Like I said last time. Number one, you can take down CCP. Number two, there's other way called early prevention. And go back, we talking about the vote. Think about what is the other comparison between this virus and the vote. I want to give you guys a chance to talk about this. Think about where and when. I already talked about when. We're talking about the audience and talking about, I mentioned a little bit the much easier committed to his constitution and basic audience. But there's other thing, what you can think about it, how do we compare this virus and vote, and also the end result. As whistleblower, we kind believe Trump will win. We know by fact, and for me, I can tell you, I've been there, follow this for quite a long. As far as the Florida, Ohio, they win, and they win a good margin, all other states will follow through. So everything in between that must be contaminated and fake all those stuff. And that can be catchable, right? It can be just take time, right? So I want to turn the microphone to Joseph or anybody else there.
Okay, election or virus. Well, both are here, actually. They didn't stop the virus even interfering the election, because wherever there is a swinging state, or whenever you are trying to do something against the CCP, you will have a second surge or even a third surge, who knows? So I would say if we don't take down CCP, this bioweapon is still in their hand. They can shoot us. They can launch another surge anytime, anywhere they want. So this is something I'm a little bit pessimistic about this. It's because we cannot send people to China to find out the actual mutations, actual source of their bioweapons created in their lab, P3 or P4. At the same time, if you think about what they've been doing inside America, because that was another thing, is so easy. It's even as easy as bioweapon, because they can use money to bribe American officials, whoever is in charge. I mean, the officials, those in Commons or in the House or even Senate. I don't want to say by name, but let's say California, for example. You will see people in California were already caught. They were caught destroying ballots and replace them with the votes for Biden. It's already proven. There are videos shown. In Pennsylvania, we have someone who just pop up on G News. Philadelphia has a long and very well documented history of corruption, because Paul Walker named Brian McFerdy, exposed the corruption and the vote counting fraud inside Philadelphia Convention Center. He exposed it, but because he took a video of what they do, he was kicked out. There's a video about it. You could go ahead and look. It is happened in Philadelphia. Well, that is a swing state, and the last election, actually, Trump won in that state, right? But this year, I mean, this election, lots of things are uncertain. So I'm coming back to my point. Like CCP is using this two ways. One, they infiltrated into America and interfere this all election. They send, I talked about it yesterday, they use Shunfeng, they use a lot of other, like even there are people working in UPS and all that in American Post or whatever, it doesn't matter. Or even other delivery trucks, they get all the ballots ready. But on the other hand, just look at the virus. It shut down the economy almost around the world. England is in a shutting down, lockdown period. Canada, well, we're reluctant to acknowledge that, but it is shut down already. I took a picture last night at a restaurant. They put a, plastic shelter or something outside their restaurant so that they say people cannot go inside the restaurant. You have to be in the patio. But now it's winter here in the northern hemisphere. How are you going to continue the business when there is freezing cold coming on? Well, but thank God now is November. Today is November 6th already. The spring, I mean, the summer is coming back, or is double digit. But what about December? What about January? What about February? What about even March? In Canada, it's the the cold winter. Who can survive? I don't know. I doubt it.
Okay, well, Joseph, you guys talking about a lot about the virus and was, but when a few states flips over to Joe Biden, this flips to Joe Biden, and when you go to see the stock market this morning, I saw the news. Stock markets are up, desperate election uncertainty. What do you think about this point? At this moment, the stock market features up, and a lot of things, election things, chaos here, everything messed up. You think the stock market is reasonable? Is going up?
Well,
I think they just want to. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Back to Hazel's question, I think CCP, they can manipulate anything, right? The stock market even easier, just from their fingertip on the internet. They just collaborate with Democrats to showcase, to make a fake image that Biden is winning, right? To call for more people to keep voting for him. I just think it's like that. And also we can see all the tricks CCP is using. Like, for example, for the policy, like we know for most the states, they have the similar policy regards for the election, that the one who win the most electoral vote will win the state. Right? So we know there are a lot of counties in the state. So what CCP needs to do is really simple. They just need to control some counties that with more electoral votes to get control of the whole state, right? To make a reverse ball. This is also related to what Joseph mentioned in China, like a small village head can use 1 million renminbi, right, back to a couple of decades ago, to buy a government title. Why do you want to do that? Because that only means they can get times and times back. They guarantee they can get it back, right? So they're the same method they are using here. Instead, they don't need huge money. They just use a small amount of money. They can get control of all the senior officials, or maybe they can pay to the voters. Only small amount of money. They can get control of the county with more electoral votes, therefore to get the control of the whole state. So all this, dirty stuffs, we Chinese people, we can, think about it. We can imagine it. But this, for the people grown up in free world, as Mr. Guo mentioned, they are really too naive to understand all this, dirty stuffs behind the scene, under the table, right? So one thing I want to mention, as Mr. Lu De said in his show, what if, the both candidates, they sue each other, they can't agree with each other, and by the time the expiry date of President Donald Trump in the middle of January, then what will happen to United States, the whole country and society? Then it will fell into everything stopped, because the public servants, they need their salary, so as well as the militaries. Right? So it's already chaotic now. So, and that will be really the dark time.
Okay, Sherry, I just want to add a little thing. Is like not because of Western people naive, it's because they are too kind, They don't, experience like our Chinese people in China we were experienced a lot of things with the CCP. They don't know how CCP, run the country, control the people. So that dark part, they never see that. That is very unbelievable, and this is not in the sun. Under the sun is under the ground, So it's like in the movies, what the things happened. So I think the white people, American people, they don't know that the CCP is ideology, So
yeah.
That's why.
Yeah. Right? Like CCP are ruling Chinese people in China for 70 years. How can we Chinese people just endure and bear until today? If we don't take down CCP, then that they will continue to rule our kids and next generations, and it will never end.
Yeah, you talk about putting a frog in a warm water. It's the same idea here in US.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's a good example. If you put a frog in the boil hot water, it will jump, right? Yeah. But you put in cold water, it will, endure. It's getting warm and warm until it's boiled. So it's not.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Just.
Okay. Finish. Yeah.
Yeah, so we see that not until the last moment, the very last moment, the United States, American, they just will not realize, they will not wake up. And we really want to see that more and more people are aware of this. And that's why we do broadcasting like this every day. Okay, back to Victor.
That's the final day, actually. Yeah. So you can do that every day. But the thing is that, I think that the more important thing is that is the damage. Is try to destroy this democracy process and the rule of law, and also the core value of this country, because they took away your constitutional free speech. Matter if the democracy or the Democratic Party or the Republican. It doesn't matter if it's fairly count, right? Now we're talking about fairly count, and then to maintain the consistency of the system. I think the damage is that they try to manipulate the people, manipulate the election, and then manipulate the country, and then they try to control everything. It's just the nature of the CCP. That's in their blood. And also that that now is really a critical moment. That's the CCP versus the free world. That's why we are doing this, to disclose that the hard drive from the laptop from the hill for 15 days consistently. So now it's really the final day, but the war just begun. So we are gonna keep fighting until that CCP is being taken down. Yeah, back to Joseph. I think Mr. Sun, you have some electronic noises.
Sorry. How about now?
It's okay. So yeah, good. You have any comments, Mr. Sun?
Yeah.
Please?
Okay. See, like a close comment right here. We 100% trust American people will make good choice and right choice. And now this is system, this fundamental right, and back 200 years ago, they never imagined that we can contaminate, corrupt it. Now is the time to realize there is a way and make it contaminate. We can perfect it, modify it, and find the truth and who will win the election. Now this is time we need to modify our system and reflecting the modern technology. This is system has been there, and remember, it's very, very important. This is fundamental basic right. The founding father gave everybody have the vote. That's more important than anything else. So all the First Amendment, Second Amendment, boil down this one. You had to vote. You had the right to choose the people you want to be governed. And this is a time we have totally trust American people. And you never, in the World War II, you're leading the world and victory. This is the time, World War III. And we are in the final counting body, right? Basically, battleground now counting the body, right? Counting the friendly affair and which bullet shooting wrong people. And this is the time we need to correct if our gun is right or wrong, and we need to go back to change it. So this is time change and modify system and find the right candidate, find the right people. You will not voting the left, because you, on the other hand, is right, and that's right, right? So I want to get passed on to Joseph.
Okay. So, anyways, you cannot vote. I mean, once you already died, right? We cannot accept any ballots from a deceased people, no matter what. We don't want a ghost come out of hell and to vote to rule this country, because this country, United States and the freedom world, is based on the rule of law. No one is above the law. This is not CCP China. That's why everybody just having a fair and find out who is above the law, who is under the rule of the law. So let the law talk and work. So this legal battle is it's ongoing since the early morning of November the 4th. Let's just keep an eye to it. And I know lawsuit takes relatively longer, but let's all wish President Trump, will win the battle, because he is the man of God. He's the chosen one, and he is on the side of the deplorable and average Americans. Okay, and I think we can call it a day because we have Chinese broadcasting to follow up on the 4 o'clock, right? So if anybody want any more more comments? No? Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, we just want to our audience to know everybody should fight against those evil party like CCP is the biggest one, and other companies with them. We have to fight for our next generation. So that's what I want to say last minute. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, one more thing.
Thank
Fred.
you.
Remember, American, your enemy is not your Democrat Party, and your enemy on the other end is not the Republican Party. Your enemy is the CCP. Remember that. You compromise found a solution, but you remember who is the real enemy behind it.
Yeah, I agree that. And Mr. Lude also mentioned in his show that Democrats, for example, President Roosevelt in Second World War, right? He is from Democrats, and Abraham Lincoln is from Republican, and they both good leaders that leading American people throughout the dark period of time. So it's really the warfare between CCP, Chinese Communist Party, and the justice. Everyone is inside this war. That's why we need to take down the CCP. Okay, I think we can wrap up.
Okay. Well, yeah, together, let's take down the CCP. All right, and that is the end of today's final battle, and the 15th day.
And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Long time, America's 50 years, too good life. They never think have the bad regime there.
Virus actually is the life modified one based on the PLA discovered and owned Zhoushan-bat coronavirus.
Second reason, you all the American, finance person too greedy.
True.
They have the BGY program. B is called blue collar,
Technology transfer and theft. IP theft is B.
New video this morning has emerged of consulate employees possibly burning documents. They've been given till Friday to clear out.
Are we about to accuse China of stealing our vaccine research?
Well, the FBI and the
G is a Chinese gold.
They can coerce you with money.
A 2013 trip to China getting new attention this morning.
Joe Biden is compromised by China. He profited off China during his time in government.
Why? Sexy.
Sex.
Any hotel, some airport, they have the video. They take any tips. One day, threaten you. Don't compromise.
They blackmail you.
Every inside, outside. Investment. This is called BGY. Must be win the war. They never defeat.
In contrast, Joe Biden's entire career has been a gift
to the Chinese Communist Party and to the calamity.
We're not just running against Joe Biden. We're running against the left-wing media, and we're running against big tech.
Maybe the FBI should look into this, yeah?
I don't think so. I hope.
I hope.
Because now it's the CCP in America everywhere.
Well,
they try to disappear everything. This I'm worried, sir.
Yeah.
Rising China is a positive development.
Business where he was going to get $30,000 a year, $30 million a year, and he was in business with 3 Chinese communists.
China is stealing intellectual property. I've had a wonderful few days in Beijing.
开潘多拉盒子，开启爆料革命的第2核心阶段，对共产党的高层、最高层进行革新不可逆转的爆料。
You have stolen their money to make yourselves wealthier. Joe Biden and his family and Blinken and Sullivan and you guys are caught up in it too. You have taken blood money to go out and you, Hunter Biden, to do your drugs and all your depravity. Well, it's all going to come out in living color.
Now, I'm going to tell you, yesterday, the FBI finally opened an investigation. It's outrageous what they did, and immediately would have figured out that this is a high-level bribery case, and everything that Joe Biden has said is a big lie.
10秒钟让人震撼，1分钟内让大家毫无质疑的他们是犯罪分子，叫他们成为人人喊打的暴徒、犯罪分子。人类的公敌，这是我们爆料的目标。打开潘多拉盒子之时，就是他们必须是人上被灭亡的分子。
他们的恐惧是我们的武器，我们的胜利。谢谢了，兄弟姐妹们，你们健身了吗？行动，行动，行动！中共，你完了 ！Take down the CCP！
Just beginning for the games you want to play. Bring it on and now we'll fight to the end. Just watch and see. It's all started, everything's begun, and you are over. Cause we're taking down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all lied for too long. We will end what they do wrong. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. Let's take down the CCP. Let the bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You'll surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. 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 Let the bullets fly a little longer.
干灭中国共产党这个 CCP， 才能让我们远离恐惧。Take down the CCP.
They try to scare the nation with fabrication. But we see through the lies, we won't fall, we will fight you back. Police corruption with crooked assumption. They ran our lives, but no more we will win, we will take down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all lied for too long.
站起来吧，被奴役的人们！行动！你完了！ Take it down!
Bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down!
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take it down! The evil CCP.